Good afternoon, Big Brother fans. A very brief update on a Friday afternoon, the day after Tucker's eviction. I talked to you this morning. The thoughts were that Rubina, Angela, and Chemo would be getting nominated. That is indeed who is probably getting nominated right now, as nominations have finally kicked in. It's like 4:15 in the afternoon. It's not late, but it feels like it's late. They've been talking about Tucker all day long. Again, for those of you that haven't listened to my podcast early this morning, Quinn won the power veto. It sounds like in more detail it was the egg chicken wire competition. They talked about Quinn's fingers, flexing his fingers and stuff, so it does sound like it was something like that, some version of that. And again, Quinn is putting up Angela, Rubina, and Chemo. His target, he says, is Rubina. We'll see. What do you say? It's like, it's hard to be sure, right? We'll have to see who it actually comes up being going on next Thursday, because somebody else was correcting me. He's like, oh, he said Rubina, not Angela. And it's like, well, you know what? The target on Friday has often ended up not even being on the block on Thursday, so let's wait and see what happens. So, that's what's going on. Power veto competition tomorrow. Lots of people moaning and groaning about Tucker being gone. Let it go, folks. You're not changing anything. I don't need to hear that you're mad that Tucker is gone. I get it. It doesn't do any good to yell at Twitter accounts that are reporting on what's going on, how bad it is that Tucker is gone. It's kind of annoying, if nothing else. We get it. We know he brought a lot to the show. We can't change it. And I realize that people aren't yelling that we can change it. They just want to vent, but I don't need to be vented at. I just don't. So, yes, he's gone. Yes, he's done lots of interviews. Yes, he maintains that he did not throw the competition. It was a complete, snafu. But at the same time, he's like, I was trying to take some heat off of Rubina with some of the stuff he did, and so I don't know. And are he and Rubina going to be a thing after the show? I don't know. If they are, that's awesome. But I'm not going to try to predict or guess that. And I try to stick just with Big Brother when it's on. Although I'm saying that after having attended a couple of different things in the past year that have been Survivor and Big Brother related. So I have kind of ventured outside of my normal little bubble of only thinking about Big Brother when it's going on and only talking about people or with people when they're in the house. But you know what it is. It is what it is. So I did play around with AI this afternoon. I was trying to do something, and I may get back to it yet this weekend, but turns out that ChatGPT is really limited on what it lets you do anymore. They've really tightened up. Unless you're paying for it, you can't do as much. But I was trying to get it to create basically a comma-separated value sheet for me, which they did do, but it just didn't do it quite right, of the last 17 seasons of Big Brother by order of eviction, which is easy to do. I've done it in the past, but I wanted to see if I could train ChatGPT to do it, because then it's AI generated, right? What my plan to do here is, if I ever get it done, and I do have it partially done, is I want to see a list of, since Big Brother 10 on, I want to see the list of the house guest evictions in order. And I want to look at everybody that has gone 6th or earlier and look at that list. Because Tucker was the 6th house guest, and everyone's like, oh my God, it's horrible, the season's going to stink. And I want to see how many huge, big characters have been evicted from other seasons that early on, that we still remember, and that the seasons didn't end up being a total, wreck or whatever. I mean, for example, guess who was evicted, I believe, 6th last season? Do you know the house guest that went out 6th last season? And the answer is Izzy. I think Izzy was the 6th out last season. Pretty big character. The season didn't end, right? It still carried on. We still remember Izzy. So, just keep that in mind. There's other seasons I was looking at, like Jesse went out earlier than 6th, I think, from Big Brother 10. Became quite an iconic character. There have been several, and I'm going to go back over that list once I get it all generated, and I may just do it manually if ChatGPT won't get it done for me. But just something fun to kind of look at and poke around with to say, because everyone's like, oh my gosh. And then the whole, yes, Tucker has said to multiple people he wants to go on other game shows. He said it to Julie in her post-show interview. He's up, whatever they have in mind for him. Yes, we know. I swear, and I was looking for me tweeting it, but I didn't. Or I would love to have the audio clips where he talked about wanting to go on the challenge, because he pretty much, to me, implied, I'm going on Big Brother because I want to go on the challenge, and the only way you get on the challenge is if you've been on another reality show. So I have to get on a reality show, a CBS reality show, in order to get on the challenge, right? That's your gateway into getting on that show. That, or I guess the Real World or whatever. So Real World isn't a thing anymore, is it? You know what I mean. Point is, that's what he's up to. He wanted to break into this kind of venue, and that's why he was acting the way he was on the show. He was doing the over the top, and so he's getting his wish. He will be on the challenge. No worries, he'll be on the challenge. I guarantee you, he'll be on the challenge as soon as he can get on the challenge, as soon as they can have him on the challenge, because they know that people will be dying. It's when you search the challenge and Tucker, I mean, the current timeline for the last 24 hours is just massive, the amount of tweets about it. But even going back to late July and early August, people were talking about it. I talked about it. My first tweet I found related to it was in early August, where I said he's going to end up on the challenge. So I just was pretty sure he talked about it specifically. But of course, it's hard to find these exact things when you want to, based on, searching the internet. So anyways, that's what's up. I don't know who's going to get who's going to get evicted. I don't know who's going to win a power veto. I don't know. Don't know any of these things. We'll figure it out. The other thing that was going on was Quinn was working to try to form alliances, and he's trying to form a 7-person alliance. There's only 9 people left in the house right now. He's trying to form an alliance with everybody, right? Was it 9? Was it 7? Anyway, he's trying to form a huge alliance. He's not trying to form an alliance with Angela or Rabina, I think. I think that's the only 2 he's not trying to form an alliance with. It's crazy. It's silly. It is what it is. And he's basically trying to build this whole theory of alliances that has formed in recent years of plus ones. So you have a core alliance of how many ever people you have, whether it's 3 people or 6 people or 5 people or 4 people, and every person has 1 extra person with them, and that is the expendable person. So Quinn, he has a plus 1. Say his plus 1 is Leah. So Leah is his expendable person that he can get rid of Leah if he has to. But Leah doesn't realize that. She just thinks she's a part of the bigger alliance. And that's how they work it. It's kind of how the cookout worked, right? The cookout, everybody had a plus 1. That's kind of, I think that was the first year that it came from. And you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. It could have been more going back to season 20. Did those guys do the plus 1 angle? I don't think they did. They were just a car alliance that just threw everybody else out, right? That's what's up, or what is up. Again, the feeds will come back. We'll have our nominees. They all knew they were being nominees. I literally had to ask this afternoon, wait, they haven't done it yet, have they? Because everybody was talking about how they were nominated. Like Rabina, it sucks to be nominated. It's like, they haven't done it yet. But they all knew what was happening. So there's no surprises in today's nominations. They all know what's happening. We got to get to the Power Veto competition tomorrow. And then the Power Veto on Monday. And then we'll see if Tucker's going to have to nominate a 4th person, which could be potentially Takor, and Takor's very mad and upset with Quinn because she doesn't feel it's fair that Quinn is putting up these people because it's like, well, they seem to have forgotten that they kind of went against Quinn's when Quinn was running Head of Household, right? They kind of left him out of the loop and kind of blindsided him, so they're not happy that Tucker went. And it's like, well, you did things, he wasn't happy the way you guys ran things, so you blindsided him when he was in charge, so don't be mad at him blindsiding you when you're in charge, Takor. That's where we're at. That's where things stand. Have a wonderful Friday night. We will talk to you at some point this weekend. I do have a busy day tomorrow, but maybe I'll have time to do one. Or if not, on Sunday, I'll do one. Oh, God, I got a busy Sunday, too. I got a busy weekend. Got a college football game a good chunk of the day tomorrow, and I have my annual fantasy football draft, which is a 6-7 hour affair on Sunday. So, yeah, I got a lot going on. But that's what happens when you bring Big Brother into September, right? Normally it's really quiet at this point, and here we are still with half the house still intact. So take care. Thank you, my supporters. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to those of you that just listen to the commercials afterwards. Thank every one of you. I will talk to you all sometime this weekend. All right? Be well, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.